Guys, it's Johnny here. This is Rambling from An Unemployed Seafarer number 4. Today is the 25th of May, and we just had a little earthquake. I think it was about 10 seconds, and everything's all good here. My daughter, when she was 3 years old, my youngest daughter, when she was 3 years old at the time, she saw me for the very first time wearing this shirt. So she came up to me very excitedly and said, "Dad, where did you buy your shirt from?" So I was very happy that she would ask me, and I was like, "Oh, darling, you want a shirt like this?" She's like, "No, Dad, I was just asking you so that I will never ever go to that shop and buy a shirt from there." I was like, "What?" And after she said that in a serious voice, she looks at me and she goes, "Awkward." Kids nowadays, eh? Out of the mouths of babes. That's my youngest daughter, and I'm going to be watching her like a hawk. She's at school now. I'm going to be watching her like a hawk. Anyway, the time is 3 o'clock in the morning on board the cruise ship, and we are heading in the South Pacific, destination unknown. Got a call saying there was a disruption in a cabin. Apparently a female entered the cabin and took some money, so I needed to go and investigate. So I rushed down to the cabin, and it was on deck 8. I turned up, the door was open, so I walked in, and there was this couple. The wife was laying on the bed reading a book. The husband was standing by the bed with his shirt off. And Italian, they were in their 50s. So I turned up there, I was like, "Okay, sir, how can I help you?" He looks at me and he goes, "Look at that ceiling up there." I was like, "Yeah, the ceiling. That's the deckhead." It's like, "The deckhead up there in that ceiling there, sir. There's a lady, a man, and 3 children, and they're living up in that ceiling." I was like, "Okay." And the lady, she comes down, and then she goes to the bathroom. She uses the shower, she uses the toilet, then she goes back up into that ceiling. So since you are security, I need you to catch the husband, the wife, and the 3 kids. I need you to catch them. So I'm like, something must be wrong with this guy. So I look to his wife, who's on the bed, to get some, look at her to see what's happening here. She was reading the book, and then all of a sudden, the book goes down. She looks at me, she goes, "Yes, there's 5 of them that is living up there. And yes, we need you, security, to catch them." So I looked at the Italian bloke and I'm like, "Sir, my name is Johnny. I am the ship security specialist and I earn this much money. Now, the ship security officer, okay, he earns this much money. That basically means, sir, catching those little people in the ceiling is way above my pay grade, sir. So I'm going to call the ship security officer to come down here and catch those little people." He goes, yes, please, call him." So I call the ship security officer. He comes down with the ship security specialist. The ship security specialist, she walks into the cabin. She's like, "Johnny, what's the story here?" Takes out a notebook, takes out a pen. "Give me the breakdown, Johnny. What's happening?" So I looked at the female ship security officer and I said, "Well, have you heard about the borrowers? You know, the one that we read when we were at school, when we were little? The borrowers? Well, apparently the borrowers, they live in the ceiling. And this bloke here and his wife wants us to catch them." The female ship security officer looks at me, takes her notebook, closes her notebook, puts it in her pocket, takes her pen, puts it in her pocket, does a big ass sigh, turns around and walks out. So I look to the ship security officer for some help. So I look to him. He looks at me. He's like, "Johnny, I don't need any incident reports or anything for this. You got this." Turns around and he walks out. So I look to the Italian bloke. He looks at me, he goes, "Where are they going?" I was like, "Mate, they're going to hatch a plan on how they're going to catch those little people." He goes, "Oh, okay." I said, "But now we've got the night manager, and he is from Fiji. And you know those Fijians, they well qualified in catching those little people. I'll give the night manager a call. So I called the night manager. He turned up. He's like, Johnny, what's happening? So I said to the night manager, I gave the breakdown to the night manager, and all I heard from the night manager was, Warai! Literal translation was, oh no, what's wrong? Is he mentally unstable? I said, oh, no, night manager, he just wants to talk to you. So I pushed the night manager towards the Italian bloke, and I ran away. So it turns out that at 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the morning, when people came over, when the nightclub closed and they came back to their cabins, they were making noises. And so that's why the couple thought that people were living in their ceiling. People living in the deckhead. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope everyone's okay. Yeah, boy.